Mustard.
Hello, everyone. So I think we actually had some troubles there already right away. Fabulous. So hopefully it will go better as we go along. Welcome, everyone. Thanks so much for joining us for Community Day. Supabase launch week has kicked off. I hope everyone can hear me now. Please shout at me if that's not the case. Where the chill beats? Yeah, sorry. Now you only get Thor. My name is Thor WebDev. I do DevRel stuff at Supabase, and I'm very excited to have a lot of fantastic guests here with me today. Now, if this is the first Supabase launch week for you, then let me give you a background. So for us, this is the fourth launch week we're running, and Supabase launch week was born out of the YC demo day, which is kind of a looming deadline towards the end of each Y Combinator batch. And it is a deadline that kind of forces you to deliver a lot of complex functionality in a short amount of time. And so with launch week, we kind of replicate those demo day conditions, but for a whole week. And we kind of do this roughly every quarter. And so we're very excited to have a lot of folks with us here for Community Day. One thing that we actually shipped with the good folks at GitHub is the automatic, the GitHub secret scanning, it is called. And what this does is GitHub actually checks for Supabase secrets like the JWT secret and the anon key, and then notifies Supabase that, oh, there is a leaked secret, and we can automatically revoke it and notify you that you need to update your secret. And with us, we have Miriam here from the GitHub team to tell us a little bit more about the GitHub secrets.
Hi.
Miriam, hey.
Hello.
All right. Do you want to tell us a little bit how that GitHub secret scanning works?
Yeah. So hi, I'm Miriam. I'm the product manager for GitHub Secret Scanning. So GitHub Secret Scanning protects users by searching repositories for known types of secrets. So we identify and flag any leaked secrets that we find in code to protect users from any data leaks and any fraud associated with that exposed data. So what that means is with our new partnership with Supabase, for example, we now scan all public repos on GitHub for Supabase keys. So imagine that I'm a developer and I'm using a Supabase API key and I accidentally leak that into my code, which, it happens, we're all human. Well, GitHub almost immediately finds that exposure, sends it to Supabase, and Supabase then revokes the key and emails the user to let them know that, their secret was leaked and now they are protected. So together, we're really helping to protect our mutual users and help secure the world's software together. So that is just in a gist of what GitHub does and how Supabase comes into play with that. And I think really it all comes down to just protecting our mutual users and making sure that whenever we're able to find something, we do, and we take action on that.
Awesome. Yeah, thanks so much. And this is really great, really convenient. I would say do test it out because it's a great experience. But of course, please don't. Just trust that it works. Thank you, Miriam.
Yes, thank you.
Now, we have a couple of updates as well. So we have Postgres, which is one of the fantastic open source tools that Supabase is built on. And as you know, that is kind of what generates your REST API on top of your Postgres database. And we have a great pre-release here that is already available on the Supabase platform. So we'll pop a link. Shane will pop a link there in the chat, and you can check out what those updates entail. Then we also have some new OAuth providers. Very exciting. You can now sign in, folks, with Notion, Zoom, WorkOS, and Keycloak. So these are all open source community contributions. So that is really, really nice that, someone will want to use this. And when there's one person who wants to use it, they, add it, they make a PR, and it is then becomes available for everyone to use. So that is really, really nice. Then also, we have new Supabase auth helpers that we have worked on. So we have heard you. Authentication, especially when doing server-side rendering, is difficult, and keeping everything in sync, refreshing tokens. So we have started what we call the Supabase auth helpers. They are framework-specific helpers, and we're starting these with Next.js. So these are now available, and you can test them out. And we're also working on Svelte kit helpers there, as well as Remix. So that is coming soon. And then the good folks at Nuxt have actually done kind of a similar helper integration, but directly within the Nuxt Labs repositories, and they will talk about that in a bit. But now we have Lee here with us from the Vercel team, and we've worked with Vercel very closely. It's a great experience building with Next.js and Supabase, and he's actually going to talk a little bit about the Vercel integration and maybe some examples that you can look at.
Hey everyone, I'm Lee. I'm the Director of Developer Relations at Vercel, and I'm really excited to join today and talk a little bit more about how Supabase and Next.js pair together. Yeah, thanks so much for having me on here. I'm going to share my screen and I'll walk you through a couple things. Let's see. Of course, it won't let me share my screen for some reason. Okay, that's fine. I don't need to share my screen.
Is this the good old permissions on Chrome and Mac? I think they popped up recently again.
Yeah, for some reason it won't let me. That's fine. I can totally talk through it. So what I'm really excited to share is that we've been working with the Supabase team and the Stripe team to make this starter kit that enables people to get started really fast with Next.js and Supabase, and just kind of gives you a pre-configured application out of the box to get started. And it uses those new auth helpers that Thor was just talking about. So that is now available for anyone to try out. Some people who have been testing it out early have been able to give us some feedback. So you can go to the Vercel GitHub repo. I'll include some links, but it's subscription-payments.vercel.app. And you can see this nice demo of connecting your Next.js, Vercel, Supabase, and Stripe accounts. And I also want to mention that I just released a new video today on using Supabase to make this image gallery. And it's a nice walkthrough of all of the great functionality in the Supabase dashboard. So yeah, that's my quick update.
Yeah, really excited for that one. We actually, we also launched a partner gallery. We're going to talk about that in a bit, also within our site, which is built with Next.js. And we're actually exactly figuring out the next image stuff with Supabase storage. And then you tweeted about this course, and we're like, shoot, we wish you had launched that a little bit earlier so we could know what we're doing. But hey, we're just rolling along. So that's great. Thanks so much, Lee, for joining us.
Yeah.
And now next we're going to go from Next to Nuxt. So we have some good stuff from Seb and Bab, who've been working on the Nuxt helpers for Supabase, and they actually have prepared a little demo that we're going to look at now.
Hello everyone, today I have 5 minutes to show you how to use Supabase with Nuxt 3. I'm Sebastian Chopin, I'm the CEO at Nuxt Labs and co-author of Nuxt, and you can find me on the social network with @Nuxt. We built the Supabase module with Baptiste Lepro, who is a lead dev at Nuxt Labs, and same you can find him on the social network with Baptiste Lepro. The Supabase module is only a dependency away to your Nuxt app. It is based on Vue 3 composables. It has authentication support. It uses under the hood the Supabase JS isomorphic client. Obviously, it has TypeScript support, and this is how you can install it into your Nuxt 3 app. The composables are quite simple, and it opens a reactive way to connect to Supabase. You can have the authenticated user with use Supabase user and the client with the use Supabase client. Let's code. First of all, you need a Supabase project. I created one for this demo. and he has a tasks table with a title, a completed, which is a Boolean, and a user ID. Next, what you need to do is to add a GitHub application, OAuth application that I created with the localhost 3000 and the authorization callback. Now let's go to our Nuxt 3 application that I already started in development. I added the Supabase module and enabled it in the build module. In order to activate it properly, I also added the Supabase URL and Supabase key environment variables. And now let's see our app.view, which is the root component. And we can see we have the index page with a login button. So far, it does nothing. So let's add the login. For this, I'm getting the client from use Supabase client. And on click, I will do client.auth.signin. We do have the completion from TypeScript, which is nice. And let's see what it does. We can see the logout at the top, which show that it actually works. So we can get the user this way. So let's get our user, use Supabase user. And I'm going to use watch effect to see when the user is changing. So when it's connected, I will use the router to push to use router to the task page. Great. So now it works. Let's log in again. And I'm redirected. Great. Next, let's go to the tasks page. And first of all, we want to prevent the guest from accessing this page. I created a Nuxt middleware that will check if the user is connected. And if not, it will be redirected to the home page. So on this, I can set the middleware by setting define page meta and setting the middleware to out. So let's log out, trying to access the task page, and I'm redirected to the home page. Now, last to do, let's fetch our task from Supabase. For this, I'm going to use async data, which allow me to have the high duration and only fetch one on the server side. Async function, and I'm going to client from tasks equal user.value.id, and let's sort it by created at. Let's console.log our data.value, and what do we have here is actually an object with the error data. So using data has a transform where we can say only return the body here. Let's refresh, and we can see we have our ID or tasks. Let's rename this, and we do have our task now, and it works. Great. You can find the documentation of the module on supabase.nuxtjs.org. Thank you very much.
Awesome. Thanks so much, Seb and Bap. That looks like a really, really nice developer experience. So yeah, I'm excited to check that out as well and maybe build some Nuxt stuff next. Great. And next we have the open source spotlight, which is charm.sh. Now, Charm aims to make the command line glamorous, and we've started using Charm in the Supabase CLI, and there's some major updates coming to CLI throughout the week. And so we're very excited to use more of the Charm features. And we have Bash Bunny with us here now to give us a little introduction into what Charm does. And then we're going to chat a little bit more about how maybe the Supabase CLI can be improved further.
are thrilled and honored to have been asked by the incredible team at Supabase to tell you a little bit about ourselves. First of all, we aim to make the command line glamorous. Mostly, we believe that software development is a creative endeavor that combines art and engineering. We've built a number of libraries and applications for developers and command line lovers. Our most popular library is Bubble-T, which is a text UI framework for adding a user interface to your command line projects. It works closely with our other libraries. These include Bubbles, which are reusable UI components for Bubble-T, Lip Gloss, which adds custom styling and layouts to text, which means it can be used to style Bubble-T, Glamour, which renders Markdown in the terminal and allows you to add rendered Markdown content to your Bubble-T 2e. Harmonica, where you can add animations to your 2es or to your 2D and 3D applications. You can use Harmonica with Ebiten and Pixel game engines. One of our examples actually uses the Pixel game engine. Wish, which is an SSH server that's easy to use and has a collection of middleware for making your app accessible over SSH. And finally, CharmCloud, which makes building a backend easy by providing an encrypted key value store, a file system, encryption tools, and under the hood, user creation and authentication with SSH. We've built our own applications for the CLI using our frameworks. These applications don't require any programming knowledge to use and are, of course, open source. So Glow is our most popular application, and its role is to render Markdown files in the terminal. It can be run in a directory, and it will recursively search all child directories for Markdown files and allow you to view all of the results in a list. You can stash important Markdown files so you can find them wherever you run Glow. Your stash files are also saved to CharmCloud so you can access your stashed files across different machines. Next up is SoftServe. So SoftServe allows you to self-host Git repositories and provides a TUI for you to navigate the commits, branches, documentation, and code with a TUI, all from the command line and over SSH. You can see a live preview of SoftServe in action by running ssh git.charm.sh in any terminal. Next up is Melt. Melt is the latest product that we've just released, and Melt allows you to back up and restore your private SSH keys from seed phrases. So if you're managing SSH keys on behalf of another person, you would be able to communicate this seed phrase to them over the phone to allow them to restore their private SSH keys. You can also choose to back up your SSH keys to a notebook or some other physical medium in case anything were to happen to your machine. Next up is Wishlist. Wishlist is an SSH directory that allows you to have a single entry point for multiple SSH endpoints, whether there are Wish apps or not. Multiple SSH endpoint. It can be used to start multiple SSH apps within a single package and list them over SSH. You can list apps provided elsewhere too. And finally, we have Skate. Skate is a key value store that allows you to store text and binary data in both keys and values. It's built on the CharmCloud. So you have the option to self-host or store the data on the cloud. As always with CharmCloud, all data is fully encrypted, so only you can access it. You can use Skate to do some clever things in scripts, or just as a quick and easy way to keep track of ideas, documents, API keys, or whatever else you'd like to have at your fingertips. If you have any questions or you'd like to reach out to us, we would love to hear from you. You can do so over Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, or feel free to open up a discussion on GitHub. We'd love to hear your thoughts, ideas, and just overall what you think.
Awesome. That was a fabulous overview. And we actually have Bash here with us, as well as JC and Toby from the Charm team. Do you quickly want to introduce yourselves, and maybe you can give us a little workshop in how we can make the CLI even better? I think currently we only use Bubble-T very sparsely throughout, but I think we're excited to improve that even further.
Cool. Sure, I'll go first. I'm the co-founder of Charm, Toby. And And so, yeah, we built a ton of stuff, as Vash has gone over, right? And so some of that is front-end facing, some of it is back-end facing. There's a lot of account identity management stuff. There's a lot of SSH stuff. And so I think the Supabase CLI is using Bubble Tea in parts to do like spinners and just make the experience a little richer when you're interacting with it over the command line. And so we were really excited when we saw that, right? Like we go to GitHub and we look at the dependencies for Bubble Tea. We do this like every day when we wake up. Hey, what new stuff has been built with Bubble Tea? And we're like, oh, Supabase CLI. That's super amazing. And so I know we've been in contact with your lead dev. They're just offering any support. So if anyone else wants to build with this, like first of all, learn Go, because that's a cool thing to do, and we'll help you do that. But also come into our Slack if you need some help, and we can sort of like walk you through some stuff there. So https:/charm.sh/Slack, and you'll get an invite to join us there. And then we can just work on tutorials or whatever. And if you build anything with any of our libraries, let us know, and then we'll promote it, because we're big on just building out the community and just really making the command line a new platform for everybody to build on. I mean, it's been one, but we want to really take it to the next level. Also, if you're a company or a startup and you want to talk to us about doing something, reach out to either JZ or myself or Christian, the other co-founder. So jz@charm.sh, the email is the go-to there.
Yeah, I can tell you it's very easy to reach out. I just dropped into the Slack. I was like, hey, you do cool stuff, open source. We love open source. We do open source. Let's do something together. And I think after this launch week, we probably should get together, maybe do a live stream of like actually digging into the Stripe CLI code and seeing where we can improve things. I don't know if that's, I know Bash, you do a bunch of live streaming, so maybe that's something we can do once we all caught up on sleep from launch week.
That'd be really cool. I think there's some corollaries too between what you are doing and what we're doing, because you've taken an open source project, Postgres, right? And you've built all this amazing stuff around it, but it's a very classic, big, really important open source thing that's like a deep tech area, right? And so we're kind of doing that with the command line as well. It's like something that's been around for a while, super powerful, everybody uses, but can use this extra layer of modernization over the top of it. So I think that that's what Supabase is doing and what Charm is doing very much aligns there.
All right, I'll go next. Hi, everyone. I'm Julie Zhang. Team calls me JZ for short. Makes it easier to remember. Very nice to meet you. I run all things biz at Charm, and we have a whole bunch of open source tools, libraries, apps that Bash has kindly explained. We are now also thinking about building that out with teams, including Supabase and those folks that want to work with us. And very recently, you know, GitHub has been using us as in their official client, which is super exciting, as well as a whole bunch who are active in the open source space. So if you are thinking about something working with our tools, please reach out. I'll keep it short and sweet. Bash, off to you.
Hey everyone, my name is Bash Bunny. So I do developer relations at Charm. I'm basically working on building out the documentation, examples. I build in public some of my work at Charm. I will share that like live. Also, we've been creating content for YouTube, so different demos and stuff like that, and expanding our audience to Instagram as well, which is kind of new in the developer space. So yeah, just kind of experimenting with that and having fun with getting creative with video editing and doing a lot of really cool stuff. Basically bringing the command line, you know, to the forefront of people's minds and trying to make it, trying to make people excited about, you know, logging in and getting hacking, you know.
Awesome. Yeah, it's great when someone DevRel comes on and then they have a fantastic microphone. It's just like, oh, yes. We should hook everyone up with just the good microphones. We should make that a mission. All right. Thanks so much for joining us. And yes, we'll definitely follow up with more content around the CLI and Charm. Thanks so much
for having us. Yeah, thank you.
All righty, and we're continuing with the learning theme, and we have a bunch of great new learning resources. And first coming up, we have Mike from the Ionic team giving us some intro to the quick start guides he has added with Angular, React, and much more. And so we're going to switch over to Mike now. I think, Mike, 1 second, you're muted at the moment. So
it has been how many years now, and still can't get the microphone stuff handled on the first try. Let's try that again. Hi, everyone. Mike. I'm from Ionic. I do a lot of DevRel stuff. We are going to take a quick look at some of the new updated guides that have recently been added. So we've gone through and basically rebuilt the Ionic, the Angular, React, and Vue guides that have already existed inside of the Supabase docs. We have just reworked them to feel more at home for the Ionic user. So not only are they going to look like a pretty good Ionic app, but they're going to be able to offer up some of the native functionality that Ionic apps get. So for instance, if we were to come over here, we have the app running right now. Let's go ahead and just change this to M. Hardington, update profile. We'll get some nice UI notifications as everything gets updated. We can check out that all of this is, just using some standard Ionic components, but using your framework of choices way of binding everything up. Where it becomes really interesting and quite compelling is when we start to do some of the native features. Now, the original docs were using a file to upload the new avatars, but if we're going to be deploying as a progressive web app, native iOS, or native Android, why not just use the camera? So let's try this. Say, allow it to use the camera. Yes. Let's just say. And there we go. My face looks super overexposed. Lovely. We'll save it, and we'll update everything. So now we can deploy this to iOS device, Android device, or to whatever hosting provider you want to use, and you're going to have this same app up and running. So definitely take a look at it. We have the Ionic Angular, React, and Vue, as well as dedicated repos that have all the source code for the final app inside of it. So check it out.
Awesome. Thanks so much, Mike. So I haven't used Ionic in a while, so I definitely need to jump back into that. Looks like some very exciting stuff. Awesome. Next up, we are looking at everything Svelte, and that is a very nice course coming up. And we have James and Amy actually giving us a little preview of what is coming there.
Amy, I was thinking, I really want to learn about SvelteKit and Supabase.
Well, James, I've got the perfect app that you can use to learn. It's called the Holler Dollar.
That sounds really cool. You know what? We should build that together and turn it into a course. And that's exactly what we're doing. So what's up, everyone? My name is James Q. Quick. I'm a staff developer advocate at PlanetScale and co-host of the Compressed FM podcast.
My name is Amy Dutton, and I'm the director of design at Zeal.
We've rehearsed that part many times on our podcast, but we are working on the Everything Svelte course. This is really exciting for us because it uses a bunch of the technologies that we are both really excited about. So one, you should check out the website because it's one of the most amazing landing pages ever. Shout out to Amy. But this is working with, as we said, SvelteKit and Supabase. We'll integrate Stripe for payments, for creating invoices. We'll have GitHub Actions, all sorts of really cool features, including using Tailwind for our styling.
The course will also feature testing using Cypress and visual regression testing using Percy. And then we've also included some bonus designs within Figma. So once you've gone through the course and you want to apply the knowledge that you've learned, you can extend the app beyond the course itself.
This is going to be the biggest thing that we have done together. We've been working on this for a few months and are planning on launching either late April or early May. So keep an eye out for that. But Amy had the bright idea of going ahead and opening pre-sales for the course right now. So pre-sales are actually available for Everything Svelte. If you head to everythingsvelte.com, do it just to check out the website. And then down at the bottom, you'll have the pricing. This is 40% off of the final sale for now. Actually, this is the old page. Sorry, I didn't refresh the page. Now is the discount. We'll have like slashed out with percentages and stuff. But there's the early access or early pre-orders that you can sign up for now. We'll send you emails when everything is ready and content along the way.
That is a really amazing landing page. I was going through that and I was like very, very jealous. Is the landing page itself open source by any chance, or is that the secret sauce?
I'm not sure if we open sourced it or not. I'm happy to. It is built on SvelteKit and it is hosted on Vercel. So special shout out to Vercel. They've also helped sponsor the course itself.
That's awesome. Yeah, we're very excited for this. The Svelte community is really amazing, and we're looking forward to seeing more Svelte projects being built with Supabase. Thanks so much for joining us, and we'll definitely tweet out once the course becomes available.
Cool. Thanks for having us.
Alrighty, and we are moving on to another exciting framework. This time around, we have Remix. Remix is the new hot stuff. What is it all about? And we have Scott Telinsky joining us from LevelUp Tutorials to give us a little bit of a preview.
Hello. There we go.
There you
go. Hey, what's up? My name is Scott Telinsky. I am the creator of LevelUp Tutorials, as well as the co-host of Syntax.fm, which is a really popular web development podcast where we talk about all kinds of stuff. And we're usually covering a lot of the latest tech. And this new tutorial series that we have coming out on LevelUp Tutorials is really the latest tech. So John has put together an incredible course for us on Supabase using Remix to build a real-time chat application. And this even covers things like authenticating a user on the server. Now, Remix is a platform that makes it really super easy to have an amazing user experience while keeping web fundamentals and browser APIs at the forefront of everything you're doing, while being able to write your application using your React tools that you know and love. So because of that, this new course with John here is going to be an incredible way for you to get a handle on a ton of things. One, you'll get to use Remix, which is an incredible experience. Two, you're going to get to use authentication within a React and Supabase environment. You'll also get to experiment with real-time, which honestly, real-time is one of those things that is just a ton of fun. So we'll offer a coupon if you're interested. You could head on over to leveluptutorials.com. You can use the coupon SUPA, S-U-P-A, and you can get 30% off of the already discounted yearly subscription to LevelUp Tutorials. What we do is we release a new course every single month on LevelUp Tutorials, and we've been doing a lot of Svelte content, a lot of React content, Remix content, and soon to be a lot of Supabase content. So John has put together this amazing course for us. So give LevelUp Tutorials a check and sign up today to become a pro, and you'll get access to this amazing course from John. Yeah, that's pretty much all.
That's a quite surreal experience, because I've been listening to Syntax for ages, and so being on the same screen with you, Scott, it's a pleasure. Thanks so much for checking out Supabase, and we should probably mention that John just had a baby, so Scott was kind enough to jump in and do the John for us tonight. Thanks so much, Scott, and we'll tweet as well. I think we have a link to the I think it's on Friday, actually, the release or pre-release party, right, on YouTube. So do check that out.
LevelUp Tuts a follow on YouTube as well. That way you can click that little bell that says remind me of when the course drop's coming, and you'll get to a little bit more information about exactly what's in the course, as well as we do 3 weekly shows on YouTube as well. So check it out.
Awesome. So much to learn. Thanks, Scott. See you soon. All right. That is a lot of tutorials, a lot of content to check out. Now we're switching gears a little bit. We have a couple more things from the Supabase side. One thing that we have just released is the Supabase Partner Gallery. Now, because a lot of we're very lucky, a lot of folks like working with Supabase, and so the Supabase Partner Gallery gives you a collection of tools, maybe around authentication, developer tools, or low code, no code tools that allow you to build with Supabase using various different integrations and tooling, as well as we're starting the experts section in our partner gallery. So if you're very familiar with Postgres and building with Supabase, you can reach out to become a partner, to become a Supabase expert, and offer your services to anyone who's looking to build great applications. So that is the Supabase Partner Gallery. We literally just shipped it today, and we're excited to have a bunch of partners on there already. If you have any ideas for someone who has a great integration or would make a great expert, do feel free to link them to it and become a partner here. And then lastly, we have a hackathon. If you've done a couple of the launch weeks before, we always like to end our Supabase launch week with a nice hackathon themed around some of the stuff we've shipped. So it gives you an opportunity to test out the latest features that we have shipped, as well as it gives you an opportunity to win some very limited edition swag. And, bring the funk. Yeah, that's what we'll be doing. So have a look out for that throughout the week. And we'll be kicking this off 1st of April. It is not an April Fool's, I assure you. We are indeed running into the virtual hackathon, and we will be running it for 10 days. So you can start coding on the 1st of April, and then submission ends on the 10th of April, the Sunday night at 23:59 p.m. PT. And we're doing this again Made with Supabase. Made with Supabase was also once an open source hackathon project by one of our Super Squad members, Sononia. And nowadays we run all the hackathon submissions through that page. So do have a look out, madewithsupabase.com. You can also see tons of amazing projects that were built with Supabase. And that is pretty much it. That is how we are wrapping up. One thing to mention as well, for the hackathon, we are partnering with the Future Forest Company. So for every hackathon submission, we will plant a tree. The Future Forest Company will plant a tree for us, and we will provide a certificate to all the hackathon submissions. So do a good thing, learn something new, test out some new Supabase features, and we built some open source stuff as well as a little forest together, the Super Forest. Let's do that. All right, everyone. Thanks so much for joining us for the first day of Launch Week Community Day. Do check out our blog post. We have a list of things that are shipping throughout the days. Well, they are somewhat secret still, but so come back to the blog post and check those out. And we'll also be live on YouTube as well as Twitter Spaces every day, 9 a.m. PT, we're kicking off. And then before our live streams on YouTube and on Twitter, we'll be hanging out in our Discord. So if you go to discord.supabase.com, you can find us there. Probably now we'll be hanging out, have a couple beers or whatever. And you can join us there, or, you can catch us before the live stream as we prepare, kind of get all the features ready and all the blog posts together, and then watch us push them live. Thanks so much for tuning in. This was day one of Supabase Launch Week number 4. We're excited to have you all. Thanks so much for all of the community partners, all the open source contributors. It really is so much fun working with you all on Supabase. Thank you and have a good day, good night, wherever you are. Bye-bye.
Dijon mustard.